The serious allegations that has been directed towards the Iranian government for selling drones to Russia to be used in the war in Ukraine is something which we have to look very closely into. And for my part, as Foreign Minister of Sweden, I believe that sanctions are necessary in order to curtail these ambitions by the Iranian government. We have to show a very, very clear sign and send strong signals to Tehran that the use of drones against Ukraine is absolutely out of the question, and that trade has to stop. And those people who have committed these sales of drones have to be sanctioned by EU, and it is a good thing that plans are underway.
Are you afraid of countermeasures?
I think that all sanctions, to some degree, may be met by countermeasures or counter-sanctions or whatever. But that mustn't stop us from doing what is right. And what is right in this situation is to stand on the side of Ukraine. And the sales of drones by Iran to Russia is absolutely out of the question.
And what happens to the GCPOA?
We shall see, but we have to find a balanced approach to these matters. But again, the fight of Ukraine against the Russian aggression is something which we have to take a priori above all other questions, and that has to be way into his situation, I believe, as Foreign Minister of Sweden.
Final question. Are you going to meet with your Hungarian colleague today and talk about the NATO accession of Sweden?
I will certainly meet with my Hungarian colleague, but I've already had bilateral telephone calls with him during my first weeks as Foreign Minister, and the signals coming out of Budapest when it comes to the NATO accession process and the ratification by the Parliament in Budapest is positive so far. And we believe that this will happen during the autumn, even within the next weeks until December, and that is a good thing. Once the Hungarian Parliament has ratified, the only country left is Turkey, and we shall see what happens in that regard. That's a different matter.
Final question. Why do you think Hungary might ratify this in a couple of weeks?
Well, because the signals from Budapest are very positive on that regard, and I don't see any reasons why they shouldn't do it. We fulfill all the conditions, and since we fulfill all the conditions, and we don't have, as we have together with Finland, a trilateral memorandum, which is a special component or a special instrument, and such things haven't been asked by Budapest, I don't see a reason for ratification.
They said the same thing 5-6 weeks ago.
Well, but this is a process, and there is also a parliamentarian process underway in Hungary, and that has to be taken into account. But the signals from the Hungarian government that the ratification is underway and that it might happen in mid-December is a positive one, and we choose to interpret it as such from the Swedish government.